If you want to quit your job to become a full-time freelancer, I want you to watch this video to make sure you're truly ready. Hi, my name is Maithili and I quit my job about 3 years ago to do my own thing, and I thought I should make a video about it to help other people who are also thinking of taking the plunge. Now, before we get into the video, first things first, I want you to pat yourself on the back for even considering doing this, because I know that in India, freelancing full-time is not yet considered a viable career option, although it definitely is. Now, before we talk about the things that you should do before you quit your job, I want to talk about this thing that I think is really important. I want you to take a minute and think about why you want to quit your job, because I think it's important to want to quit for the right reasons. Now, I love the fact that more and more people are opening up to the idea of a full-time, freelance career instead of working a traditional 9-to-5 job here in India, and I think that's great. But I also know that freelancing is in 2022 is considered like the cool thing to do, and obviously if that's why you're quitting your job, then you're going to be disappointed. People have this idea that freelancing is working from the mountains, working by the beach, not having a routine and things like that. And if that's why you want to be a freelancer, you're going to be very, very disappointed. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to work from the mountains, but it takes a lot of, hard work. It also takes quite a bit of time. Now, think about it, right? I'm sure you know a lot of freelancers. How many of them work from the mountains? Not a lot. So yeah, so this is something that I want you to consider first. Start by figuring out your financial situation. And by financial situation, I mean figure out how much money you need to survive on a month-on-month basis. Now, these are non-negotiable expenses, things like groceries, rent, food, all of that. Now, figure out what that amount is and make sure you have enough to survive for about 6 to 8 months. So when you quit your job and you don't necessarily have, an income stream, you're still comfortable and you're not worried about, running out of time or running out of money. So that's the first thing. And while we're on the topic of, saving, I want to, kind of talk about how privileged we are as Indians. Now, in, our culture, it's not considered necessary, or it's not very common for people to move out as soon as they turn 18. And it's very socially accepted to, not contribute to rent or, groceries and things like that if you're still living with your parents. Now, if that's you, and that was me, that was my situation when I was still working a full-time job. I lived with my parents, so I didn't necessarily have to pay rent, or, I didn't really have those kinds of expenses. So if that's you, you have no excuse to not save. And if you really take advantage of your situation, you can save really, really fast. So to sum it up, don't even think of quitting your job if you don't have at least 6 months worth of expenses saved up in your bank account. And I say this all the time, and I'll say it again, do not quit your full-time job if you can't afford to. Make sure you have everything in place before you quit your job. Now, when you are a freelancer, you'll need things or you'll use things like, your Upwork profile, your LinkedIn profile, contracts, NDAs, and all of these things on a day-to-day basis. So it makes sense to have all of these things ready before you quit your job, especially your portfolio, because it takes a lot of time and effort to create a good portfolio. So have all of these things ready before you quit your job. For example, if you plan on getting clients using LinkedIn, then obviously you need to have a good LinkedIn presence. So start working on that now. Make sure you have a good LinkedIn profile, create valuable content, connect with people that you think could be potential clients, things like that. Same thing holds true for Upwork. Create an Upwork profile if you plan on using it, and then create a portfolio on there. Make sure your profile gets approved, all of that. So it's a waste of time to do all of these things after you quit your job. So make sure all of this is done before you quit. Get your first freelance client before you quit your job. Now, if you speak to 10 freelancers and ask them what the most challenging part about being a freelancer is, they'll probably say getting clients, which is why I want you to get at least one, or if time permits, more than one client before you quit your job. Now, getting freelance clients is very different from, applying for full-time jobs, and it could take longer than, you anticipated. which is why I want you to, one, get clients before you quit your job, and also to get this experience of working with clients before you quit your job. And it's not just about getting a client. Sure, if you're getting clients, that's great, but it's important about creating a system, a predictable system to get clients on demand. Now, what do I mean by that? You need to know that if I send out 100 cold emails, so many people will get on a call with me and I can convert, these many people into paying clients. The same thing holds true for Upwork. Let's say if you're using Upwork, you need to know that if I send out 100 proposals, so many people will get on a call with me, and out of those many people, I can convert, X number of people into paying clients. And this is extremely important. And here's why. Let's assume you get your first client and you're very happy about it, and you should be, you should be happy about it. And let's say you sign a contract with them for 3 months or 6 months. Now, obviously, they're not going to pay you for 3 months upfront or 6 months upfront, or that happens very, very rarely. Okay, so they've signed a contract to work with you for a minimum of 3 months. There's a 1-month notice period, which makes sure you still have time to find, another client if they leave. But, at the end of the day, contracts, NDAs, to what, extent do they protect you? Let's say you do hire a client and, they stop responding and they leave. Okay, to be very practical, honestly, it's not like you're going to take them to court. All of us know that's not going to happen. So the only thing you can do to protect yourself is make sure you have a system to get clients on demand. So if client A leaves, it doesn't, turn your freelance career upside down. So that's why this is so important, and if you can take back only one thing from this video, it has to be this. So these are the 3 things that you need to do before you quit your job. Now, if you found this video helpful, please like, and I'd love for you to also subscribe. And if you are a freelancer or if you want to become a freelancer, I do share content about freelancing on my Instagram and LinkedIn, so you should definitely follow me there. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.